Hi there. I'm doing a video blog post this month, a little bit earlier than usual. And today I want to talk about the dimensions of uncertainty that I see right now and the implications. So, the two dimensions of uncertainty right now that I see are oil prices that can go up or down, or they can stay the same. And the other dimension is tariffs on China. And on the other hand, on the other side, trade deal with China. And the reason for the spike that potentially can happen in oil prices is because of sanctions on Iran, Venezuela, and because of the tightening of quotas by OPEC that they can afford to do now because of the increase in the cost of extracting shale oil in the United States. And so this is the reason for the possible increase in oil. And let's call each one of these sections a scenario. This would be scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, 4, and then 5 is going to be here, which means oil remains flat and we have tariffs. And so let's go scenario by scenario and see what happens. So in the first scenario, we have a trade deal which causes the economy to go up, and there's going to be a relief rally. As a result, there's going to be a continuation of the quantitative tightening. There's going to be collaboration of China in the sanctions on Iran and Venezuela, and as a result, the price of oil will spike. And so here the price of oil can create an effect which is opposite to the effect of the trade deal and can drag the economy down. And cause a quantitative easing by the Fed and other central banks. And so in this scenario, we see that stocks, bonds, interest rates, so stocks will go up and then they will go down, bonds will go down and then they will go up. The only thing that looks fairly certain in this scenario is that oil will go up. As a result of scenario number 1, I think that scenario number 4 is less probable, because if there is a trade deal, then I just can't see the oil prices go down in the short to medium term. So let's look at scenario number 2. In scenario number 2, we have tariffs that cause the economy, the world economy, to crash, causing quantitative easing. And as a result of that, there will also be less sanctions cooperation from China. And so there's going to be a pressure, a a downside pressure on oil. So with all the will of the U.S. to impose sanctions, there's going to be less cooperation. So I see scenario 2 in this sense less probable than scenario number 5 or 3. And so in scenario number 5, we have oil, these same things, all of these things will still happen in scenario 3 and 5, but oil in this case in scenarios 2, 3, and 5 is uncertain. But due to the QE and the crashing economy, we will see a increase in the price of treasuries and probably a decrease in the price of high yield. And so from this analysis, a strategy emerges of perhaps creating a hedged position of oil correlated assets on one hand, and then treasury correlated assets or treasuries, and with a short on high yield bonds in order to take advantage of all of these possible scenarios. So let's examine this possible strategy and see the robustness of this strategy to the different scenarios. And so we will put the oil here and the price of treasuries here and the price of high yield here. And so these are the scenarios. And so if we are in scenario 1, we will have a situation, switch colors, we will have a situation where oil goes up and initially the price of treasuries will go down and the price of high yield will go up. And so initially we have a hedged position so we can break even in this scenario. Once the price of oil goes up, we can sell this position and double or remain with the second portion of the hedge and wait for the crash that is brought about by the high oil prices. And so in this scenario, our hedged position is going to be balanced and hopefully lead to profit in the second stage. In scenarios 2, 3, and 5, so in scenario 2, we have oil going up and the price of treasury going up and the price of high yield going down, and so we win immediately. And then in scenario 5, we have the price of treasuries going up, price of high yield going down, and so we win as well. And then in scenario 3, we have oil going down and then price of treasuries going up, price of high yield going down, and so we are balanced. And so all in all, it looks like a pretty robust positioning. Hope it was helpful, and see you next month.